Welcome viewers to the next edition of Development Talks. Today we are very fortunate to have Rashid Rezoana, who is the head of women's banking and retail banking of Mutual Trust Bank. She has an illustrious banking background. So at the very outset, Rezoana, I request you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Zahid Bhai. I'm Rizwana. I'm working as head of women banking and retail products, not head of retail banking. I'm in banking for last 18 years. Throughout my career, I was always been in business, branch operations, and in core banking migration. So I'm very glad to be here today to discuss the potential of women entrepreneurs in Bangladesh in future. So let's start the session.
Okay. So thank you very much, Rizwana. So my first question to you is, what has been the overall impact of banks on women entrepreneurs in Bangladesh?
Well, so far, banks have a very positive impact on women entrepreneurs in Bangladesh. Lot of growth has significant growth has been seen in last few years, but still there's a lot of opportunities for women entrepreneurs to grow, and bank still has that what should I say? Bank has still that opportunity to tap this market,
Opportunities and potential.
right? To tap this women entrepreneur segment. So far, many banks has already introduced women banking segment to provide dedicated service to women customers. Then there are many collateral-free loans for women entrepreneurs. And then banks have recently introduced a lot of financial literacy program for women entrepreneurs. So all these have a positive impact on the women entrepreneurs' journey through banking. Plus, especially the directives from Bangladesh Bank, like the refinancing scheme and the quota for the women entrepreneur in SME portfolio, that has led to a positive growth in the banking for women entrepreneurs.
No, very, very encouraging. Thank you very much. So, would you enlighten us what are the major constraints women entrepreneurs face in accessing finance from banks?
Well, first of all, from my experience and seeing our peer banks as well, first of all, the women entrepreneur lacks the uh, ownership of the property. They don't have the collateral to provide for their loans. In the most of the cases, like there are banks who wants to provide loan to the women entrepreneurs, but few loans are collateral free and few are with the collateral. So they most of the ownership of of the properties are don't belong to women. So that's
That's
how.
quite ironical, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So the women-led businesses or women-owned businesses are deprived of those loans. So and then one major factor that we have observed in these days, that is that there is insufficient verifiable data. Like women-led businesses usually are unregistered or home-based enterprises. They don't have that official documentation of their inventories or their transactions, like through bank accounts. Whenever you're applying for a loan, you need a credit history. So most of the women entrepreneurs who are especially new, who are new in the business, they lack that credit history and the preparation for the loans.
Understood. Understood. So there is a opportunity to work in this area to of
Right.
facilitation
Right.
and kind of hand-holding approach.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Okay.
that's how even banks are coming up with the financial literacy programs.
Yes.
Since these women entrepreneurs doesn't have that knowledge of how to apply in the banks for loans, that credit product, credit policies, plus the documentation requirements.
Okay.
So that's how they don't have the preparation basically for the
Understood.
loans.
Understood. So what do you think? What challenges do banks face in better serving women entrepreneurs?
uh, Challenges, I must say, these are the same thing, the challenges, that lack of credit history. You know, Bangladesh Bank has already given a quota for all the banks, that they do have to have a certain percentage of women entrepreneurs in their SME portfolio. But we are not able to, most of the banks are not able to provide that loan to maintain that quota, just because of most of these customers do not have that formal credit history, so that we can assess that loan. That based on the credit assessment, we provide the loan. So for that, we have to have that set of records of their transactions, their business and initiatives. So that is a one of the major constraints we are having to provide loans to these women entrepreneurs.
Understood. And also maybe uh, there may be lack of gender sensitized
Yeah,
training.
there are, in our countries, the banks or the staffs in the urban areas are more polite and what should I say, amicable to all the customer, including male and female. But still there are banks and branches in the rural areas who are not that adaptive to provide services to these women entrepreneurs. They are marginal entrepreneurs. They lack information, they lack that knowledge, and we assume and we understand, we feel that uh, our colleagues, our staffs working all over the countries in remote branches, in agent banking centers, they should be more, what should I say,
Proactive.
proactive, and friendly to provide
Yes.
them the service and to make them understand the details, what are the requirements and everything. And that's how, since they are not even too friendly, these women entrepreneurs find them intimidating.
Yes, yes.
So they are quite hesitant.
It should rather be facilitating role,
Right, right.
rather a hand-holding approach.
Right.
Sometimes
So-
that is lacking also.
Right. So that's how they are feel judged or hesitant to get that service from those centers, agent banking centers or remote branches.
No, that's very important, very crucial. And then what opportunities exist for banking in advancing financial inclusion for women, in your view?
There's a lot of opportunities. Most of our women entrepreneurs are still underbanked, and there is a big sector, potential sector, which is untapped. So I think if we use our technology and
Like expanding digital financial
right,
services.
right.
Yeah.
So if we use our technology and we expand the banking through digital financing services, like most of the bank, like my bank and other peer banks do have that platform for opening accounts from your home. So we have that eKYC platform. You can open your accounts from your home. Even our representative in the rural areas can visit you at your home and open that account for you with the mobile or the tab. So we are making banking more accessible so that the women entrepreneurs or the women customer pan country can access the banking services.
That's a big advantage of the women, actually.
Yeah, it's for men as well. But
Men as well,
since
yeah.
I
Yeah.
am from women banking and we are like
You are promoting that.
we are promoting that. So
That's
that's
good.
how we are doing it.
Okay.
And then what bank can do, even since the banks are coming up with bank assurance, bank can make bundle products for these women entrepreneurs, including insurance package for the loans, for their worst case scenario if there is any issues with their health issues or something, so that for the sustainability of business they can have a insurance policy with their loan. So something like that, for with the modification of product plus few value added service and the technology. As much as we can use the technology, we can make them more accessible.
Absolutely.
To them.
Would community partnership add value to this?
Yeah, definitely.
In which way?
Yeah, definitely. From my experience so far, I had the opportunity to work with the microfinances and NGOs since I'm working in bond banking. So microfinances and NGOs have more access to these women, marginal women, rural women. So if banks can have a partnership with them, so they will get the access to those women entrepreneurs and marginal women. Usually in our country, since these microfinances are accessible from any part of the country, like from the very remote part in the Ponchagor or anywhere, they are always available. Any NGOs or microfinances available there. So they are more, what should I say, they are more approachable for women entrepreneurs. So they will even eventually have that trust on us if we intend to partner with them
So
for
you
providing
have kind of poverty profile of the country, like hardcore poor, where do
yeah,
they,
yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
because as you know, the entire population, 50 around 55% is men and women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the financial inclusion of women in the banking is around, as far as I knew, 70-30.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a big untapped market for women who are not part of banking. So that's why we focus
Yeah.
on have women in our banking. So
True.
inclusion
True.
of women. So that's how we focus all the rural areas through our agent banking, then
Mm-hmm.
our small branches,
Mm-hmm.
to our eKYC platform, all the digital platforms, so that they can open the accounts from mobile.
True. So yeah, you're right. If banking sector can overcome some of these constraints and bottlenecks, then I think the windows of opportunity for the women
Yeah,
will expand.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
So again, coming back to women entrepreneurship, what is the current landscape of women entrepreneurship in Bangladesh, and how are banks engaging, in your view?
Okay. Um, as far as the statistics concerned, up as of 2024, women-led businesses own 7.5% of SME business. Total SME business only, but they consist only 4% of the SME loan portfolio.
Oh.
So you see, there is a gap
Mhm.
between 7.4% of ownership of SME business and SME portfolio, loan portfolio. So there's a huge potential we can tap into, but as we said, like, we have to give them the financial literacy training. We have to train them how to run their business, how to do their business, how to get their business registered, how to have their transaction in banks, and how to monitor their businesses, so that they are into formal business, and they have that formal credit history.
Okay, so these things are might be tough for rural women.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So suppose if we assume that some rural women, a group of women with high sort of skill of entrepreneurship, but do not have any formal education. In that scenario, I mean, are the banks helping them to sort of facilitate all these, what the overcome the constraints and bottlenecks basically?
Yeah, financial
Because
literacy.
financial, all this portfolio, and this is very difficult to prepare because many of them may not have even bank account. So, how is that being dealt with
Uh, well, nowadays,
for illiterate women,
yeah,
basically, not
nowadays,
for educated?
yeah,
Yeah,
I understand. For marginal people who
marginal
are
people. Yeah.
right. Uh, Nowadays, banks have that financial literacy program. All the banks, most of the banks have their own set of financial literacy programs that they are conducting through their agent banking centers or branches or everywhere, so that that basic knowledge of credit policies the entrepreneurs get to know. So that's how they are running it. That's how usually they are running it. And then what that's earlier we are discussing, right, that partnership with these NGOs and microfinance will have an added advantage because they are more closer to these people.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I'm not an expert on this. Like the women, those who have husbands, sometimes they play a positive role in this. Sometimes, but there may be women who are widowed or maybe abandoned by the husband, divorced. So in those scenarios, banks are doing anything for them.
In those cases, if they have a uh, basic credit history, bank can add guarantee for those loans, their family guarantees or any sort of official guarantees. Sometimes if they don't have collateral, so they add guarantees for them, guarantee facilities for them, so that they can avail the loan.
So you are, in a way, if I got it right, Rizwana, that promoting collateral-free loan basically for the women entrepreneurs, right? Mostly
Mostly, but collateral-free loans have a limit. The
limit.
entrepreneurs who intend to be in big business or who are already in big business, they will not be able to
No,
manage
no,
that
but of
collateral-free
course
loans.
they have comparative
Right,
advantage.
right.
But after those who don't have much in terms of collateral.
Right.
But once they graduate, maybe next stage they can avail.
Right.
Yeah, that's possible.
That's possible.
So
And there's one thing I must mention. There is a scheme from central bank that was called Punargothan scheme. So under that scheme, the marginal people, you have heard of like 50 taka account, 10 taka account, or 100 taka account. Those are for marginal people. Those marginal people have a facility of loan that's called financial inclusion loan. Like for the entrepreneurs who are at the initial level, who can set up their business with this amount of money, that is only 50,000
okay,
taka.
still
So
that helps.
that helps, and that is under refinancing scheme, and the interest rate is much lower than the general rate. So there are Bangladesh Bank is facilitating a lot of things for actually women entrepreneurs from marginal to the top level SME entrepreneurs.
Which is much better than microcredit at least.
Yeah, definitely. Microcredit has a higher
Yeah,
interest
yeah,
rate. Anyhow,
absolutely.
though they look very simple, but it is very complex.
Complex, yeah.
But banks provide a straight away interest rate, which is though looks 2 digits or sometimes 1 digit, but it is healthy.
Healthy,
It is
healthy.
healthy for the entrepreneur.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, that's very good to know. That's very encouraging. So then, what are the primary constraints preventing women from accessing finance? Primary constraints in your view?
Lack of formal credit history. Lack of formal credit history, lack of knowledge,
Yeah.
lack of preparation, and lack of collateral. Because
True.
most of in our countries, 60% women-led business do not have any property. They do not have any collateral. So that's a disadvantageous for them. Initially, when you don't have a credit history, sometimes collateral helps to get you the loan. But when you don't have a credit history plus you don't have a collateral, it makes them more difficult for the woman to access the loan.
Absolutely. Is there any kind of cultural stigma in this?
Yeah, there are many. There are many that like as we were discussing, like sometimes when women are hesitant to talk to a male staff of the bank, they feel they will be judged. So
In their community and
right,
society, yes.
right. Even their spouses, their in-laws do not allow them to get into a formal business. Don't allow them to go to banks, to visit bank premises, to communicate with the bank staff, male staff. So there are many. Since we're living in cities, we may not see all these things, but in our rural areas, in our suburb areas, customers do have these problems, these socio-cultural problems.
Are you collaborating, by the way, with any NGO in this regard? No.
We do.
You are collaborating.
Right.
To overcome these things.
Right. We are working with couple of partners, NGOs. We are visiting lot of rural areas. We are arranging that financial literacy program of 300, 400 marginal women. We are
Basically for conscience raising type.
right. Even we do open accounts at that premises instantly. After that, what we say, arthik shakharata. So when we provide that training, instantly a lot of women are ready to open the accounts. If they came up with the money in their shari, in the shari achol, that they want to open accounts. Since they don't need to visit the branches, they can open account instantly through our mobile. So these things help. They are even last year we had a big session on financial literacy. We onboarded 55 women entrepreneurs. After that session, through our equality platform, we opened their accounts, and now they are into formal business. They are in the scale-up stage. So hopefully, after 1.5 years, we will be able to provide them formal SME loans.
So that's very important point. I think that calls for a kind of tracer study, impact
Right.
study. So you do carry out some impact evaluation,
Yes,
right?
we do.
From the bank side.
From the bank side.
That's very encouraging. So next, I think you have covered some of the points, but still I would like to ask, what are the challenges for banks in disbursing loans to the women entrepreneurs? Basically, disbursement of loan. So you have covered like absence of credit history, definitely small loan amounts sometimes.
That's an important thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens, the women entrepreneurs, they are new to business. Since they lack credit history, they don't get uh, the big amount of loan, the small amount of loan. Usually, when the branch people get to see that a new business, she may not be able to avail large loans, maybe a 200K or 100K loans. So in that case, sometimes banks or what should I say? Uh, the formal businesses are not very encouraged to give them the small amount of loan. So
True. At the same time, maybe you know better the high perceived default risks. They may think that they may
yeah,
default, right?
that's a cultural stigma, I guess,
Yeah.
because not really always banks. Because if you see the microfinance data, women are not
Yeah.
defaulters; they
No.
are good borrowers,
Their repayment rate is very high.
very high, and they are good borrowers. So yeah, there is a differences since we don't have much of accurate statistics on all these. So that's how this perception came that women may have a rate of high default. But
Yes.
actually, that's not the accurate scenario.
So, what do you think? Had there been more gender disaggregated MIS data, that would be helpful, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. That would be helpful. But that's a big policy level change. So we expect someday, very soon, it will
The
come
process
to.
has begun or not? Not
Uh,
yet.
Not completely yet, but it has started. Let's see. How, it depends on our central bank and our peer banks and everyone.
Okay. And then I had a broad-based question, like how effective have the policy interventions like Bangladesh Bank refinance scheme been? I mean, any views on that?
Okay, it was very effective, I say, but still long way to go because uh, the Bangladesh Bank has a 100 crore women entrepreneur refinance scheme that probably started in to, to
2014.
2014. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it started in 2014. So far, only 40% of what should I say scheme has been utilized for women entrepreneurs.
That's pity.
That's pity. Yeah,
Out of
100.
1000 crore taka,
Right,
only
1,000.
400 crore taka,
Yes, yes.
which is 40%.
Right.
So
Banks
it's a
are,
missed opportunity in that sense.
I mean, in a way, for the entrepreneurs, but not for the banks. Banks are willing to give the loans. Banks are really even whenever we see an entrepreneur, we welcome them, especially women entrepreneurs, since every bank has an target of providing loans to women entrepreneurs. But due to their preparation and credit history and collateral, lot of things are involved. So we
Involved.
are not able to provide them the loan as much as we want to.
So, in which way would you attribute this underperformance? I mean, any
Uh,
views like
I think lot of promotion of this scheme is needed from central bank side, from all the bank side, from the branch official side. So if we can promote this, that women has that opportunity to get this loan under refinance scheme. These refinance scheme loans are usually with uh, lower interest rates, right? So, which is a very big benefit for the women entrepreneurs. So, we have to promote from central bank side and from our bank side. We have to promote so that women are more aware of this thing and they take their preparation for availing these loans.
and maybe also procedural complexity adds to this
Yeah,
to
definitely,
a lot
definitely.
extent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you. I think that's very enlightening, in fact. And then I would like to ask, like, how can banks better serve grassroots women entrepreneurs? Better serve. I mean, so far so good, of course. But any views on how can?
First of all, if banks come up with a dedicated banking segment for women, so women need a different kind of products, unique products, depending on their needs. Like few banks, like our bank has MTB Ongona, a dedicated banking segment for women. Few other banks, like Bragg Bank has Tara. There are other PR banks who have their dedicated women banking centers and segments. So these helps women. To be interested in bank, to avail the unique products of the for the women, and uh, what should I say? It helps the bank to reach these women to this dedicated segment, to these dedicated branches, dedicated RMs who can give dedicated service to these women.
Yes, no, absolutely. You already covered like collateral free SME lending backed by credit guarantees,
Right.
basically, and also partnership with MFIs, NGOs, we have already mentioned. So, yeah, I think the window of opportunity is there. Yes. Then, what are the future prospects for women entrepreneurship in Bangladesh, in your view? Of course, we have covered some of the points, but as a banking professional, what do you see the future prospects of women entrepreneurs in Bangladesh?
Well, we have a 2041 vision, right? So to achieve that vision, we have to come up with lot of women entrepreneurs. We have to have them in our portfolios, in banking portfolios, in banking inclusion. And I think gradually, if we focus on agribusiness, who are involved in agribusiness, women who are involved in agribusiness, if we export women artisans, and then what should I say, freelancing, then digital commerce, who are involved in digital commerce and
Huge
business,
prospect.
huge prospect. If we focus on these areas, I'm sure we can cover up the most of the goals of most of the SDG goals we have for
Okay,
2041.
that's very crucial.
Right, that's very crucial. That's really very crucial. And you'll be glad to know that even in our portfolios already we have lot of freelancers who are women. So we have onboarded them, we have trained them, we have provided them few complementary trainings, and they are now earning. From my bank, we have a dedicated project, empowerment project, Shonir now. We have trained two batches of women freelancer, and they are earning a lot of money. They're earning a lot of
That's
money.
very encouraging.
Right.
I think viewers, you have heard Rashid Rezoana. I think particularly I'm drawing attention of the women community and whoever wants to be a women entrepreneur. So this has been very enlightening, soul searching, thought provoking. And lastly, if you have anything to say to the viewers, those who are particularly interested in women banking and also to be a women entrepreneur, you have in few words to the viewers.
Well, especially my message will be to the all the viewers, but especially to the women who are in business, who intends to have a business. Believe in yourself, but for banking to get into a business, you have to have a formal knowledge of banking, credit products, and what should I say? And the documentation which will be required for your formal business and loans, that will make your
For the credit
path,
worthiness.
right, that will make your path easy. So there are kind of perception that banks do not provide loans. Banks are ready to provide loans, but I'm sure you know it has to work. It has to be through a formal channel. So I would request everyone, when you get into a business, please take the necessary preparation and have that financial knowledge so that you can have the loan very easily. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Rashid Rizwana. With that message, we are coming to an end to this episode. Thank you so much, Rashid Rizwana, to come to our platform, enlighten us and the viewers, particularly the women entrepreneurs. Hope to see you and meet you again on other similar topics. Till then, goodbye from our viewers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.